I've been training for this day my entire life. I played through Bloodborne. Halfway through, it got hard. Then Sekiro. Again, halfway through. But what does that get you? A broken pride, but more importantly, training. Training for this. Okay, so rules. Number 1, both punching and countering are off the table. Number 2, all takedowns are allowed. And yeah, that's about it. The game then remembered that it's 2021 and it changed the setting accordingly. Now feeling more at home, I was faced with a serious dilemma. Even though they're now demons, I can't attack these poor people. And then the realization hit me. This is a gun, not a fist. I can kill as many of these guys as I want. And so that's exactly what I did.
You really think Scarecrow's crazy enough to detonate a chemical weapon in Gotham?
Well, looking at him, he has pretty trusting eyes. I mean, would a crazy person really dress up to scare people and go by a stupid alias? I should stop talking. So yeah, you know the plot. Scarecrow did a scare thing. I know, shocking. The city got evacuated, and now it's time to shine. Or hide quietly in a corner, probably crying. Yeah, it's the latter. We then had to rescue a cop, so here's our first fight. And it was more of a beating than a fight. More specifically, my meat got beat. But like, in the hurting way? So it was still pretty enjoyable. Okay, problems. So number 1, I don't really know how to do, and that's kinda necessary when a thug wants you to count the hairs on their knuckles. Problem 2, literally everything else. So after sorting out the controls, the basic enemies aren't too bad. I mean, once they charge, I found that I can take them out really quickly with batarangs. Great. The only problem is that it doesn't work on Batman. Pun maybe intended? I don't really know what happens in my brain anymore. Anyways, these guys won't charge, but luckily, I found a workaround. The solution to most of life's questions, explosives. It does damage, but more importantly, it lets me hurt these guys. So the fight then evolved into this. And I know what you may be thinking, hey, isn't repeatedly blowing up defenseless men kinda like breaking every rule of the Geneva Convention? And to that I say, we then learned that Scarecrow should be in this penthouse, and of course he isn't because this game isn't 5 minutes long. I then got to my second combat encounter and wow, I found out that I could die via hug. You heard me right, if I get tackled I can't escape, so I'm screwed. Which kinda makes sense considering the non-consensual hugging. These basic enemies were tricky, but thankfully, just like life or erectile dysfunction, give it time and eventually it won't be as hard. This would be a lot less awkward if I didn't have one of those. What? A life. I have a okay, yeah, I have erectile dysfunction. We then had to do some electrical work, or something, not sure. Bruce said a word with over 3 syllables, and my brain started to overload. We then found out that Scarecrow has been manufacturing his toxin at, get this, the only chemical factory in town. Surprising, right? We met up with an idiot who taped an iPad to his face, and I started to get a little pissed off because it didn't look nearly as cool when I tried it. Anyways, we then had to clean out Ace Chemicals, so more fights. Oh, hey pal, nothing to see here, just continue on. Okay, wow, that actually, I don't plan for my plans to work, so I'm lost. Sorry, couldn't hear you over the sound of your will to live and bones breaking. Speaking of bones breaking, we took out some guys with a gun. That I'm pretty sure was non-lethal. I then proceeded to drive all over their bodies with a 15-ton tank. Also, non-lethally, of course. But me goofing off aside, I got to a serious problem. Swordmen, they move fast, but more importantly, they can't be avoided. So I came up with the next best thing. Smoke bomb, blow them up one by one and retreat. But bombs take forever to recharge and it's super ineffective. I was looking for an easy way out like the baby I am when I noticed something odd. I could be standing right next to them and as long as I'm off the platform they won't move. How does this help, you ask? Bang, bang, bang. Yeah, I was able to snipe them. I would lure them to the edge, and then bam, done. So yeah, we had to save some more people from the power plant, and our journey quickly led us underground. And again, more sword people. The Batmobile's out of sight, so no help there, and I really thought this challenge was gonna end here. I would blow them up over and over, but I would always die before either of them would. See, these sword attacks are basically unavoidable without countering, meaning I would die so quickly. But then, it hit me. Yeah, I died. But then I came to the realization that Well, you know how your eyes do the see thing? Well, apparently mine forgot to do that because there was text right in front of me telling me how to avoid the attack. I knew I was stupid, but I was finding new ways of disappointing myself that day. So even with this new technique that really helped, these guys still wouldn't die. It took a number of explosions that I probably can't count to, but one of them finally died, and then it got a lot easier. Look man, I know I just saved your life and all, but if you tell anyone about how many times I blew these guys or how I just phrased that, you're gonna join them in napalm-infused hell. I blacked out. What was I saying? Right, I got to this boss fight thing, and it was so nice to relax and not worry about swordmen, but rather get shot at and nearly die.
What are you going to do?
Well, cut you off and then talk to your daughter. Right, he's not supposed to know about her. Why must my mouth betray me? So we had to enter Ace, and it was a lot of sneaking, so no problem there. You know, I could post this video to Twitter and you'd probably lose your job. Or I could just... yeah, that's better. We then had to slow down in an explosion, and it all started with using a computer that Bruce had recently used as a face bashing instrument. Nice thinking. So yeah, I tried stopping the explosion, it goes wrong, I got to play as Commissioner Gordon, and considering my last experience with a cop, I was kind of excited, but all we found were a couple of Joker knockoffs. We then got back to Bruce, and now we have a friend, Joker. Barbara was taken, Gordon upset, yada yada yada.
Now on that occasion, I found visual aids helpful.
I haven't met many people who found aids useful. Well, at least I have, and I'm not finishing that sentence.
You ever get to meet the big guy?
Do you want to? Oh, your spine alignment. It should kinda look like a xylophone. Let me help. So yeah, we had to track down Barbara and we ran into a bomb. My first reaction may or may have not been to shoot it. Don't ask, I don't know what I was thinking either. We then had to lower this bridge, which just involved more sneaking. Don't see me, don't see me, don't see me, don't see me, don't... Okay. Wow, I think hiring watchmen at Housing for the Blind may have been a bad idea.
Why would a Batman visit an abandoned orphanage?
Well, I mean, Bruce... Okay, I'll drop it. So yeah, we had to save a villain from another Okay, I think Bruce has lost it. I know he dresses up as a bat in his free time and literally sees hallucinations, but what the fuck? We then found out where Barbara is, or at least was. Who knew a girl in a wheelchair couldn't handle the wheel? It's like leaving a YouTuber at a playground. What were you expecting? Fuck, wait. Whatever, screw it. I then ran into the one true Batman, and needless to say, no, and we got some more info on Barbara.
We've been working on some further upgrades for your car.
Okay, cool. Add a self-destruct button. Oh, no, this isn't me being edgy. I'd rather scrape out my eyes with spoons than drive that thing ever again. Yeah, no self-destruct button. We had to go through another tunnel full of tanks, and after doing a little bit of snooping, we got introduced to a new enemy. Yay! Kill me. The big brute is trouble. Well, at least not for now. I took them both out with environmental takedowns, so I don't have to worry about him. Oh, yeah, and there were more swordmen. How could I forget?
You're not walking.
You're mixing up your perspectives there, buddy, but you're right. I doubt you'll be able to walk again. Bruce then showed me that he could teleport, or I just blacked out. Honestly, both are equally possible right now, and we got to use some advanced interrogation tactics. Head crush torture, cough, cough. And we found out that the Arkham Knight is with the Penguin, and our chase of Penguin led to yet another big guy. I haven't had to take one out without environmental attacks, so I started to worry, but... yeah, a bullet to the face does wonders. Anyways, after going through a little chase, we got to Penguin, and I was forced to counter here twice. I tried everything, but nothing. Oh well. Explosion time. Yeah, with Nightwing on our side, this fight was extremely easy. I then tried putting both me and Joker out of our collective misery, but unfortunately, no dice. Or boom. I feel sorry for you. My brain can barely handle me, so add in another person and, well, you may be losing a couple dozen chromosomes. We then got to more sneaking, basic stuff. Bruce got the latest flip phone, then blimp. Why? Blimp. Okay, it may be obvious, but this challenge has done something to my brain, and I don't think I can fix it. Okay, let's look at what caused everything. This stupid fight right here. I spent over 2 hours on this one enemy. I could have spent that time wasting my life on something equally as stupid, but no, let me explain. I tried every single gadget over and over, but none of them actually did damage. Sure, they stunned, but that's it. I also went ahead and got every single upgrade I thought would help. So this all together is about 2 hours, and guess what? I got a breakthrough! More specifically, a mental breakdown! I gave up. There was nothing I could do. I sat down, wrote that blimp joke because it was the first thing that came to my deranged brain, and after going through all 5 stages of grief in about a minute, a thought popped into my head. What about the speedrun? It can't be that different, right? What the fuck? The speedrun for this game literally breaks it. Teleporting, flying through walls, skipping sections, and most important of all, skipping this one enemy. There's a lot of tech involved and it took over 2 hours to learn it all, mostly because of my lower brain functions. And for those of you actually with lower brain functions, I mean stupidity. Wow, I sound like a dick. Well, you are what you eat. Why did I say that? So yeah, there are a bunch of glitches here, but don't worry, I won't bore you with all that. All you really need to know is that I need this one electric gun to do it. Thankfully, it's not too hard to get. Just go to this police compound, find it in the evidence room, break this glass. Yeah, it may be obvious that I didn't think this out, like at all. I need to break this glass, and it can only be broken by punch. Gadgets aren't allowed here. So what's the point of avoiding a punch? Just a punch in a different route. In the last 4 hours, I had hit so many ups and downs. Mostly downs. Okay, all downs, but this was the lowest of them all. I did all that work for what? Just so that I could stare at the key to my success and reload? But then I felt a gradual climb upwards for once. There are other buttons on my keyboard, right? And with that, I smashed my head onto my buttons and it was open. I didn't know that I could dodge indoors, so I didn't bother testing it. Still living off this high, I spent around 2 hours actually trying to use the damn thing before realizing that my settings were all wrong. God, the only time I ever surprise myself now is when I don't be stupid or maintain an erect. But at least it was finally over. I want that written on my tombstone. Quick shout out to One Eyed Deacon. They have a playlist which is great for Arkham Knight speedrunning. We then got to more plot, and it turns out that some rich guy called Stagg trusted Scarecrow with a deadly toxin. Now I know the saying, don't judge a murderous psychopath by the cover, but you trusted a deadly toxin to this guy. Are you called Stagg because your dad had a child with a deer and you're the result? Why do you have a deer name? Me getting irrationally angry at stupid plot aside, we got to this room, and yep, another large guy, minigun included. And before I started to freak out and clear my schedule, I realized that there are massive bombs basically everywhere, and also that my schedule was already clear. We then got to speak to the half-deer man himself, and it felt good to speak to a fellow, what's the word? Insane person. Scarecrow gave me a choice, and honestly, it's kind of like college courses, because no matter what you pick, you're probably gonna give in to the clown in your head. That isn't just me and Bruce, right? So yeah, Joker got control and fight time. Gadgets aren't allowed here, so fists only. But surprisingly, dodging or pressing the spacebar twice also counted as an attack. Because I'm not pressing the punch button, I won't count it, but I'm extremely stupid when it comes to, well, everything. So yeah, you can tell me what you think down below. We then got to Barbara, and those bastards killed her by putting an earphone cable through her neck. Honestly, disgusting.
Cash. I'm sorry.
That's not very cash money. I shouldn't have done that. Bruce then had an epiphany to ask yet another villain for help, and he threatened plant genocide. Strangely, that's not the weirdest thing to come out of my mouth today.
3 more of those Cobra tanks have been deployed.
Thanks, Alfred. So yeah, with Poison Ivy now helping us, we got to meet a new tank. All easy stuff.
So, whose throat are we gonna slit first?
Well, I was planning on my own, then I started this challenge. So yeah, definitely my own. I then encountered another big boy, but thankfully environmental takedowns were open, so I was in the clear.
Sir, it was bad enough keeping Miss Gordon's abduction a secret. This, it's wrong.
But all those thugs who probably had a family, but now have an IQ I could count to? Whatever, screw them. We then had to take down 2 towers. The first was pretty easy, but the second one had a brute with no environmental takedowns. I thought this was the end, but luckily, I found that if you stun an enemy, then hop onto them, Bruce will attack. No punch button required. With this, I thought brutes like polio or the IRS were a problem of the past. Don't ask about the second one. But unfortunately, this new jump attack did no damage to the brutes. Well, at least it let me rack up a combo. I then thought, hey, can't I use that combo for takedowns? Nope, they don't work on this brute. So I tried clipping through the gate. Nope, nothing. I thought about just giving up when one word popped into my head. The speedrun. That's 3 words. Anyways, the speedrunners found that you can clip through the ground and skip this fight entirely. Again, shout out to One-Eyed Deacon for the comprehensive tutorial.
I didn't think the bat was a coward!
Oh, screw you! Would a coward really skip over a fight? Let's change the topic. We then got to another sneak section, and I made reverse Siamese twins. Okay, yeah, let's change the topic again.
I need something with a little more punch.
Don't you dare say that word, you'll jinx us. And surprisingly, my meat melon was right for once. We had to take down a brute, but thankfully, environmental takedowns.
Don't do it. They're not stable.
She wants another Joker, of course, because Joker was stable. I'm pretty sure he won the most stable award at the Stablies. He's so fucking stable, he keeps horses around him all the time. Why am I so mad? Is it that time of the month? Oh, no, it's not that. Once a month I go into a deep rage and get ticked off by basically everything. Oh yeah, and blood comes out of my dick.
There's an old remedy I used to try on nights like this. It's called murder.
I've tried that. All it gave me was a killer headache. Now, as much as I enjoy the smell of your shoes and the look of your crotch, could you please scooch? You know, I don't really know why we need all these anti-vape ads. Look, imagine this smoke is a vape, and this is what oh, fuck, I didn't mean to break his neck. Okay, vaping won't do that to you. So yeah, we found out that Harley took over our secret base, and now all we have to do is take out the men outside. Fuck. I'm sorry. Shh. Happy place, go towards the light. Anyways, after increasing the national stock price of every wheelchair company, we got to Robin. Hey man, wanna take this guy out, huh? No? Save the honor to the guy who can't punch. Okay, Dick. Now, all of the Jokers broke loose thanks to Dick's help here, and now, before you go asking why I'm so rude, that's his name. Oh, that's Nightwing? Robin's still a dick.
One bad guy coming up.
That bad guy went nowhere up. He went straight to hell. Father, why are you letting this man hug you? Anyways, we then got to a couple of brutes, but thankfully with Robin on my side, we can take them all out super easily. Batman, that's a lot grosser than I thought it would be. I need to throw up. Anyways, I then did some carpet painting. I was feeling green, and we got to this. Yep. Another unavoidable counter. I then decided to take on Singer Joker, and we learned the meaning of foreshadowing, to bash the audience in the head with as much subtlety as possible. Sometimes this can be used literally. Singing Joker was actually no problem at all. Robin looked brain dead, and I couldn't solve this puzzle. Good to know we're on the same page. So yeah, one Joker left, and I saved the hardest for last. So this fight starts with, as you'd expect, us staring deeply into each other's eyes. Okay, stop. I can't pull the same joke twice. So I was seriously worried here. None of my gadgets seemed to do any damage, and this guy could see through smoke, which didn't help. So I spent a long time just running around until I realized we had takedowns because Robin is here. So we had to use our gadgets on his goonies, building up takedowns, and bam! This fight was easy peasy, right? Wrong. Yeah, sorry, I set you up for that. See, halfway through the fight, we're soft locked into punching and countering. There's literally nothing I could do. But yeah, you know what's coming, the speedrun. Runners have found a way to skip this entire fight, so luckily, I didn't have to spend 4 hours trying and failing. So there's this glitch where you can grapple cancel fly through the floor all the way to the fight. This also let me avoid one brute, which I didn't mention earlier. Then we get to this door, throw one batarang, and bam, the boss is done. Yeah, done. Now all we have to do is take out his goons. But I should mention he's invisible for the cutscenes, so instead of looking into the eyes of a half man, half ape, we're looking into the eyes of, well, air.
Nothing to say?
You put it perfectly. Anyways, I then had to do the out of bounds glitch again, and we had to take on Harley, which I was actually worried about because she had 2 brutes, but thankfully, Robin was here. We then learned that we were a Joker as well, and we got locked up. You know, Bruce, you could make this place a little more lively. Maybe add a TV. Oh, there is one. What's on? I've been training for this day I hate this guy. His voice reminds me of Rumpelstiltskin. Now tell me, Jason, who the hell is Rumpelstiltskin?
Of course, sir.
I think it's better if I don't know. So yeah, Bruce kinda went insane. That was him going insane there, not me, and we had to go through the whole routine of being put in prison over and over. The game wants you to counter, but if you wait long enough, it'll do it for you. We then had to protect Ivy. Bruce thought it would be fun to get a seizure. Surprise, it wasn't, and the Cloudburst was turned on. I was gonna make a fart joke, but I'm more mature. What? It fried the Batmobile? Scarecrow, what have you been eating? Okay, I got it out of my system. Get it? I love puns. Don't worry, I got it out of my system. What was I doing? Right, so everything has been gasified and we need to talk to our old interspecies friend Stagg. Everything was fine, but when I got to the Stagg airship, I ran into a new problem. Yeah, another brute with no environmental takedowns. So back to the sacred scrolls of speedrunning we go. I don't really know how long I can just keep running from my problems, but it's worked before. As I said, the IRS is no longer a problem. It took an embarrassing amount of time, but thankfully I finally got the skip to work. I don't really know what I skipped, all I know it was a lot. Kinda like when your dad gives you a sip of beer and you wake up a day later. I may have been roofied. Oh, yeah, I forgot to mention, apparently the game will soft lock, or basically get stuck, if I die or quit out now, as a side effect of the glitch. The stakes are rising. Well, there really weren't stakes before, but there sure are now. So yeah, with the stakes in place, this next boss fight scared the crap out of me. Literally, whenever I got targeted, I swear I could feel a little bit of myself slip out as the threat of soft locking appeared in front of me. This fight takes forever, and one shot does so much damage. Even without the stakes, this fight is terrifying, but luckily it took a lot of time and new pairs of pants, but I finally finished it off. The game then forced me to punch after all I've gone through, stuck here. Whatever. You know, this would all be a lot more emotional. Ivy sacrificing herself in order to save every plant and human in the city if, slight improvement, she wasn't T-posing.
Is that the commissioner?
Well, judging from the name on the monitor, the picture on the monitor, and the voice, I'd say it's, I walked up to this guy, Bruce went crazy, okay, crazier, and I got to this. At first I thought I'd soft-locked it again, but then I just realized my brain had done that thing where it doesn't do anything. Yeah, there was a hatch right here. Oh yeah, and I figured out where we are in the story. Gordon got kidnapped. Ugh, I should have known. My blackouts usually tend to end in kidnappings. I then lost a little bit of hope for humankind, more specifically my humankind, after spending way too long on a basic puzzle, and we got to another boss fight. Well, it was more of a chase. I knew that because of the whole soft locking thing, I needed to be on my A game. I've done this before without dying, I can do it again. And then I proceeded to die almost instantly. Yeah, I physically said, oh well, I'm dead, which I then realized was a little redundant as I tried to fit my head through a noose hole, but then a Christmas miracle. Or that's what it would have been if it was Christmas or there was actually a miracle. But the game brought me back to my last checkpoint. Easy peasy. Now look, I wasn't trying to lead you on, and I know that's hard to believe coming from a straight guy who speaks like he leads on gay dudes all day. Wow, I sound like a dick. Well, you are what you eat. Why did I say that? Strangely, that's not the weirdest thing to come out of my mouth today. Would you classify dick as weird? But I'm being serious here. I genuinely thought I would soft lock, but apparently it goes away once you sacrifice Ivy. I'm not really sure. All I'm sure of now is that I won't be stuck playing this game forever, which is a minor victory. So with the power to die now on my side, this boss was extremely easy. I mean, I still died a lot, but there were checkpoints all over the place, so I then ran into a room full of swordmen, and this would have been past me's worst nightmare, alongside human interaction or a slow death. See, I've done some training, and there's one simple trick that you can pick up from basically any airport. Single out people based off color. The white guys are medics, so once they go down, everything is a lot easier.
I want you dead.
We should have seen this coming, the old Oedipus complex. Wait, who would be the mother then? Gordon? Anyways, iPad Face wanted to show he was going all serious, so he replaced his iPad with a slightly darker iPad, or he just changed the wallpaper. I wasn't watching. Anyways, it's boss fight time. I've always wanted to do this. Wait, you got knocked out from that? Hell, I've had a grandpa fall from that height, and well, he died, but that was a bad example. He was old. So this fight was, well, I like having big epic battles for close to end of videos, but this was just sneaking. No brutes. Now, as long as the game doesn't force me to pun. But luckily, this was a fake out, and funnily enough, that's how I was made. Wait, fake out? Forgot to pull my bad. They're so similar, I mixed them up. But no, being serious, we didn't have to punch here because we found our answers through friendship. And I can say that for once without being sarcastic, which is new. And well, nothing really ends happily because of course we run into a brute with no environmental takedowns, no glitches or aces up the sleeve. I just had to punch here, so add one to the counter. As punishment for messing up this already messed up run, I don't really know what I did, but all I know is that health insurance definitely doesn't cover it. We then got turned on by Gordon, why did I phrase it that way, and Barbara's alive.
I'll handle it.
And you apparently, Bruce, her dad might be dead. Now's not the time. So yeah, my antics aside, we got to another sneak section, which was easy until I realized there was a brute. And I also realized that there are no environmental takedowns. But luckily, earlier the game had taught me that exploding a fragile wall will take out any brute. So with that in mind, I reset and looked at the speedrun for an answer. No. I exploded the wall and we were all done. We stopped a hack or something. I got to another brute, but thankfully there was a spare fan nearby, and we got to a big drone fight, which I mean was hard, but that had less to do with the challenge and more to do with my stupidity. We then had to deal with 4 brutes, but thankfully there were more than enough environmental attacks to take them all out. We then learned that Dick was captured, no, not Nightwing, the other one, and in order to save him, we need to end the game. Oh no, I was almost starting to enjoy spending 2 hours on the same stupid sections. I saw some jokers go to the bank recently. They were probably just gonna go get a clone. Get it? You guys are all clones and the banks give out Hey, fuck you! It wasn't that bad. Okay, maybe it was that bad. You guys will laugh at literally anything but my jokes. So yeah, deep inside little Bruce's mind, we needed to take care of these jokers, and oh boy, all of our gadgets are taken from us, and the key to escaping this hellhole is combos. Yep, the cape attack is perfect for this section, as we just need to build up a little combo, and eventually, I got lucky. I sat there giving a neck massage while Joker told stories from days past. A lot of them involved murdering my friends and family, but still nice stories. I sat there for about 5 minutes. The music rised and rised, the laughs got louder, but nothing until Yep, besides me realizing I could write a fucked up kids book, I was forced to kill Joker, so I'd went to the counter. We then got to meet Scarecrow at his new lair. Had no clue he was Muslim, but it's good to know. We got to meet up with our friends, Robin, beaten, bloody, and about to knock on death's door, and Gordon, poorly rendered, the poor bastard. Anyways, we then had to go through Joker's mind, and he gave us one final FU, as he forced me to punch him, and that was that. Sorry for the late upload, this video took a while to make, and being lazy didn't help. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please consider subscribing, and I'll see you next week.